Welcome to the Wellness as a Way of Life podcast, your one-stop, all-encompassing source of wellness, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, and motivation. Here we teach you why not all wellness trends are for you, how to figure out which ones are, how to best adapt them for your personal wellness toolbox, and how ultimately to integrate your wellness practices so fully that they become to feel like brushing your teeth. A foundational part of who you are and not a check mark on your to-do list. Here we know that in order for health and wellness to be sustainable, we need a less is more approach, leaving the information overload and tips overwhelm behind. I'm your host, Megan Swan, creator of the Wellness as a Way of Life course and the Sustainable Integrated Wellness Approach. I have more than a decade of experience in the wellness industry and on my own personal wellness journey, learning how to tune into and trust my intuition and drown out all the noise. As a certified IIN health coach, detoxification expert, plant-based chef, yoga teacher, and coach, I will help you distill down the information overload and feel more confident and at ease in your own skin again. So let's swan dive in. Welcome back to Wellness as a Way of Life. This is going to be a very succinct podcast, a little something that I have been going back and forth on over the years, and clients hit me up every once in a while asking, like, I'm doing this, and this. Why am I so exhausted? And one of this things that they're doing, which is confusing them as to why they can possibly be so exhausted, is they're essentially caffeinating themselves all day long. They are either drinking coffee or they're relying on some sort of constant drip of tea, energy drinks, what have you. Not just in the morning hours, but it is like their base drink for the day has caffeine in it. And I just want to share with you what I always share with them and what took me, and sometimes I need reminding lovingly every once in a while when I start drinking too much coffee. Basically, your system has, not your system, coffee in itself or anything that you put in your system has a certain half-life, whether it be caffeine, whether it be alcohol. It's the time that it takes your system to work it out, to work it through your system, so it's no longer having any effect, be it on your physical, mental, emotional state. So in coffee land, the half-life is about 6 hours, meaning, like, sure, you get like an initial jolt of energy the first 15 minutes to an hour, and then it kind of starts whittling off from there. So you think you're having another cup of coffee, after 2 hours, after an hour. But the point is, you're just layering upon layering this half-life, and it goes on and on and on. So it gets to a point where even when you're trying to sleep, your body is still trying to work out the caffeine. So one, you're exhausting yourself because it's taxing to your system to be processing these harder chemicals. Two, your system is still reacting to the effects of caffeine because it hasn't caught up to you where you are in your day, even though you're trying to get to sleep. So your body on one physical level, if you will, is exhausted and can get to sleep out of pure exhaustion on some level. So maybe you're not experiencing this as like, I can't get to sleep, but I guarantee you are not going through multiple REM cycles, meaning going through stages 1, 2, 3, 4, and REM of sleep. Ideally, you want to be getting 2 full cycles of that a night. And what really can interfere with stage 4 and REM are things like caffeine and alcohol. So, I guess we could have this whole conversation. It's a whole different conversation, I think, if your sidekick for the day is a glass of wine. I'm talking to the people who their sidekick for the day is coffee or a thermos of coffee or what have you. and you're keeping yourself awake and moving, but really when you wake up in the morning, you are exhausted because you have not got a full night's sleep. You haven't gotten to the more nurturing, healing, essential rest and restore phases, being phase 4 and REM sleep in your cycle, and you feel it's cumulative over time. So even though you are exhausted, just back off the coffee, give it a 7-day window. I wouldn't recommend necessarily going cold turkey, just put a cap on it. So I'm going to have, let's say you're having 6 cups of coffee a day. You're going to try going to 2 cups of coffee, and you don't drink coffee after 10 a.m. Now, let your body feel the effects. Maybe you're going to need to take a 10-minute cat nap at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Maybe you're not. Just think of other things that are going to support you while you're shifting your body off of the caffeine and ultimately giving a gift to your adrenal glands that are not going to be working overtime trying to process all this caffeine. So make sure you're hydrating and make sure you're eating fresh fruit to keep you, lively, satiated, and just an optimal state of energy in another way that is not caffeine. So I hope this is helpful. And I love these questions. Keep them coming in, and I will keep recording these episodes. Have a good one. Hey there, one last thing I wanted to share with you. If you are enjoying this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you could rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. It really does help us grow the show, and this being so important to me to get this message out to more women to help them optimize their wellness and ultimately their lives. This is my mission, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could support the podcast by rating and reviewing. Thanks in advance. Have a good one.